I want to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters who help support the channel. Also, I want to say thank you to my Twitch subscribers. Help the channel out by donating or go to patreon.com. Thank you. So, if you're on the stream yesterday, and I don't know when the other video is coming out, when the clip is coming out, we went over the whole Moist Critical, Sneako, Meat Cannon, kind of like video. Turn that down a little bit. It's drowning out my camera. But we went over that video yesterday, right? And we saw how the memes of Sneako being afraid of Moist Critical, and we saw the other videos that Charlie did. That's not a clip, it's a mag. Like it was some fucking Call of Duty motherfucker. I'm sorry, okay. And I can't really go over the Sneako response to the second Charlie response because Sneako is such a fucking idiot that he throws out like some of the same buzzwords because he can't come up with like any motherfucking terms himself. He just comes up with some of the stupidest shit. And I want to actually here, let me actually show it. This is what happens when Sneako has to think up something on the fly. And here, where is it? It was just like this 3-minute thing where here. Yeah, I'm gonna actually show this. Where Destiny just destroys, and I know destroys Sneako and Pearl with like a simple question. And here, let's pull it up. Let me see if I can actually find it in my history. This is should have had this up, but this is old, and this is yeah. Where is it? Is this it? Because it was just so fucking dumb. Here.
How many people?
No, go ahead.
I saw a stream where you were talking to Sneako about like what it would
Here, this is it. Let's go. Watch this. Watch this, guys. Watch how stupid this shit is.
take to change his mind. So I'm asking you what it would take to
Same question you asked me.
That's not what you asked me. If you asked me what it would take to change my mind,
or
then
to believe that.
No, okay, no.
I'm sorry.
No.
Simple question.
If you would ask me what would it take to change my mind, I could tell you what it would take to change my mind. You asked me how many people would have to say something.
Yeah.
That's fundamentally different. What would it take to change my mind? I don't know, any type of like a third-party investigation by some private firm, by some government office, by somebody actually... That was one of the answers I gave. I know you got triggered when I said the G word there. I'm sorry.
The government is...
I'll avoid that.
That's a very distinct part of this business.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to...
Watch this, guys. This is the level of intellectual tightness that we have.
Trigger you there. I'm so sorry.
No,
oh my God. I couldn't even finish the question. He's so triggered now. He's so triggered now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's triggered.
I'm ready to be unreasonable.
But look at that.
I know you're...
Pearl asked the question, how many people? Because people on this side, we believe in like people speaking to each other.
You're stupid.
But you are so programmed.
Wait for it.
And bot-minded that it has to be a government because you're
stupid.
Your entire worldview.
Stupid answer.
Destiny's. It's not. Hold up.
I could show you 1,000 people that believe the Earth is flat. Does that convince you at all?
Okay, but the question was how many people?
What if I showed you 10,000?
And there are 10,000 people that may believe that the world is flat. Trust me, that's how I got into the internet debate culture review.
The point I'm trying to make is that your worldview is formed by people that have more power than you.
No.
And our worldview is by people that we speak to. That's a very different way to research and to form opinions about what goes on in the world.
It's
That's
stupid.
extremely...
How many people would it take to convince you that the earth is flat? That's the point, right? It's not about how many people it is. It's about who has the tools and who has the third-party verification.
It's also popular opinion, too.
No, it's not
also
popular opinion at all.
You know why?
Yes, you heard it correct. It's about popular opinion of how many people that will tell him that the world is motherfucking flat. You heard that shit correctly. Not if we measure it, if we actually take instruments that take human perception out of it, and we have facts and we have data and we have, like, no. Sneako is convinced that if enough people say it, then it must be true. Sure. I'm a god. Let's get that rumor to start around. All right, so let's go into the video. Let's cover it. Let's cover it. Let's go. I've already got to sped up a little bit, just because we're gonna try to get through as much of this video as we can tonight.
I know it's April 1st, but I'm not fooling. The title is not a joke. I talked to Sneako, and I gotta be honest, I had butterflies in my tummy. I was more excited to talk to him than I would be to talk to Santa Claus. Now, I know this will be
because they're both absurd. I know. I'm just
coming as a shock to a lot of you, a bit of a jump scare, so I hope you're sitting down so it doesn't knock you off your feet. Sneako and I have not been on the best of terms recently.
What?
We've tried our best to keep it a secret and handle it behind closed doors, but unfortunately, it's bled into the public eye, and you know what? By golly, I'll say it with my whole chest for all to hear. We just haven't liked each other. We haven't seen eye to eye on many things, so...
Okay, so I'm not pausing as much, but this is that dry humor that I was saying before. It's just like, it just totally sells it, but it's like, yeah, this is that dry humor. Let's go.
Our internet beef has become this fine Wagyu steak. It's been this very tasty, juicy bit of drama between the two of us, and today... it finally boiled over and we had a conversation. And I want to show you some clips from it. He actually asked me to record, so don't think that this was some kind of one-party consent thing where I pulled the wool over his eyes and pulled his fucking pants down to surprise him with a recording. He had actually asked me to. And I want to show you how this went, because it was actually a very interesting conversation we had. I want to tell you how we got there. It's because last night I noticed Sneako was raving about cuties on Twitter yet again, talking about how much he loves it and how I always defend it, but then said that I wouldn't debate him on it.
So here's the thing about this bullshit. Cuties is really about an important Islamic views and are in the face of satanic wokeness. I love cuties. It's pedo bait. Like, for real. Like, stop it. Stop it, dude. And then, again, not even the fucking cover that was done in the US where the shit was actually promoted. It is completely different. It is completely different. But, you know, and then this shit right here, okay? Let's just be honest with you, right? I understand the value of tweeting and getting refollowers, but this motherfucker has to self-promote his own tweets in order to get boosted. All right, let's go.
Cuties on Twitter yet again, talking about how much he loves it and how he'll always defend it, but then said,
oh, this is another part. He will never debate me how your favorite YouTubers sit in their rooms and feed lies to you. Like you do, Sneako? Oh, all right, let's go.
That I wouldn't debate him on it. And this little nugget of cringe had me scratching the hair on my chin, confused. I wouldn't debate you on it. I would actually love to hear your side of things on how you could possibly excuse the blatant sexualization of the child actresses in the film. Now, I'm not a debater. I actually am not a fan of debates in general. I prefer just general conversations as opposed to these like gotcha and leading questions and traps and shit. I think that's not very conducive to actual understanding of different sides of arguments. So I don't debate, but I was very willing to have this conversation with Sneako, and I reached out to talk to him, and he was more than willing to talk about it. So we did.
And it's as good as you think it is. Let's go.
Talked about cuties and even talked about all of our general grievances with each other. And this was a very different side of Sneako. I went into this expecting him to be his standard, unhinged, like very animated, cartoonish self that I see in all of his content on Twitter and Rumble, where he's doing these like temper tantrums and like throwing his ass in a circle and going wild, hog wild. But here, this was a very laid back, very calm and collected Sneako who was actually more than willing to concede on some of his points as well as see different sides of situations. And I didn't expect that. And I'm very appreciative of that pleasant surprise as well, because I went into this with pretty low expectations, but after finishing our talk, I'm actually pretty curious to see where Sneako goes next. Because, like I mentioned, there are some things that he just fully admitted, like maybe he was guilty of doing similar things that he criticized others for, and that he was going to be repurposing his message and changing things around to make it more conducive to positivity. So overall, the whole conversation went in a totally different direction than I expected. Of course, he's still very passionate about some things, and we still fought on quite a few things, and the reality is there's just a lot of things that I don't see eye to eye to him on with some of the things he talks about. But overall, I really walked away with a very different impression of Sneako from this. Now, I know
Okay, let's go.
I'm blue-balling you here, but one more thing that I think is important to mention, he has said that he's wanted to debate me over the last 2 weeks here. He even made this big hullabaloo on Twitter about how I ducked a debate with him on Aiden Ross' stream. Even though he had not replied to any of my DMs at that point, there was no debate scheduled between him and I, so that was just a blatant lie. I think he was just joking around about it, and it missed the mark because people actually thought that I was avoiding him. But he's not wrong in the fact that I really didn't want to have a conversation with him over the last 2 weeks because all of it was extremely geared towards hurt feelings. At least that's how I interpreted a lot of his statements. It seemed to focus more on me saying, "P.U., you stink," and him taking it as, he's canceling me. There's not a whole lot of productive conversation that can come from that with
All right, so I'm going to say this, and this is a point that I wanted to make. All right, check it out. If somebody criticizes you, that's not canceling you. If you break the law and go to jail, that's not canceling you. That's criticism. That's you did something fucked up. It's not canceling. You are not entitled to be liked or loved or by everyone. I actually had a conversation with somebody while I was at the party that I was at this weekend, and I had to sit back and tell them, like, you're concerned about what people find you attractive, or you concerned about how people see you. That's just a fucked up way of looking at things. Just because somebody turns you on doesn't mean that they have to like you, or it's this perception that I'm owed your respect, or not even respect, because everybody's owed respect. I'm owed your worship. You should worship me. You should love me. And no, that's stupid. Criticism or just not liking you is not canceling you. It's criticism. Even if somebody is making fun of you, it's not canceling. They just made you look like a fool. But let's go.
me just explaining over and over again that I'm just insulting you, and that's the simple brass tacks of it. But over the last 48 hours, it really does feel like he's had this come to Jesus moment where he's recognized that I was never canceling him. I was making fun of him. He even issued an apology about bringing up my girlfriend and stuff like that, and has recognized that he has been off the mark on a lot of things recently as well. He also, apologized for being a cuck, which was a wild thing. He talked about...
Well, I saw that apology video. It wasn't an apology. It was more or less like, I'm sorry that you got mad at and made fun of me. That was his apology. I'm sorry that you're such a bad person, a Satanist, that you get that I got triggered. That's what Sneako's apology was. But let's go.
How cuckoldry was a mistake. So it looks like he was never okay with it, even though for a time he did say everyone should try it. It looks like he's changed his perspective on that and now looks back on it with a lot of regret, which isn't surprising since those insults were not some of his favorite to keep hearing. So that's not really a discussion we had. I think and have always said, whatever happens between consenting adults in the bedroom is fine. As long as no one's getting fucking hurt, there's no, victims, it's consenting adults, you're good to do whatever makes you happiest. The reason I always talked about the cuckoldry is, one, because fucking hilarious that a lot of his beliefs now go very much against his past of being open to watching his girl get fucked in front of him by multiple men on a couple occasions. And two, it was illustrating a bit of ridiculousness with him being the moral authority on healthy relationships when he himself was in a very confusing one that he wasn't proud of.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Dude, I have no problem with people that want to be monogamous. I just can't do it. I can't be monogamous. And that doesn't say that I'm out there playing the field. Like, no, monogamy to me is more than just, oh yeah, we're just having sex with the same person all the time. No, um it's about a relationship that you can have with more than one person. Sometimes it's intimate, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's intellectual. And some people just can't handle that. They think I'm fucking this one person and nobody else should touch what I'm fucking. And that's okay for you to actually think that way. It wouldn't fly with some of the people that I know, but and by having somebody that's that possessive, that unsure of themselves, to then play in a lifestyle that they are woefully unprepared for, it causes a lot of cognitive dissonance. And Sneako was hurting himself. Let's just say it. He was hurting himself trying to proclaim that he was part of that life, but he wasn't. But let's go.
Yet still preaching that people should do it anyway. That was the whole point behind it. I wasn't trying to kink shame like a lot of people started accusing me of. If you want to be a cuckold, then be a proud one and be okay with it and comfortable in your own skin about it. So, it has seemed like he's been more receptive to real talk, and that's what we had. So let me go ahead and show you now. The first thing we talked about was cuties.
This discussion with you about cuties since I dropped that video back in 2020.
Okay, let's continue.
How time flies, man. Well, better late than never.
So, have you seen the movie?
Yeah, so you mentioned you saw my video, so you know I didn't finish the movie. I physically couldn't. I found it just to be completely repulsive.
Haven't you seen a lot of other movies that have repulsed you before? I watch horror movies. I watch movies that are provocative quite a bit.
As somebody who has a young daughter, I wouldn't want to watch that movie. Because just the exploitation of those young kid actors, I would have a fucking issue. That is literally... Why are you equating those two things? It's so fucking stupid. And yeah, I know that some people, particularly some males and women, some females too, they don't grow empathy for other people until like literally their brain fully develops. But the point where you just like say, no, this is disgusting. This is disgusting that they were actually doing what they were doing. No, stop. But let's continue.
Yeah, but this is something I feel isn't being recognized. There's a difference between being repulsed by fiction, which is like horror movies, that's not real, and being repulsed because there's real children doing sexual things. You can't fake that. The actresses were 11 to 13 years old. They were twerking. There was some...
He's not even fucking listening. Oh my God, he's not even listening. He's tuned this out. And people has told Sneako this shit multiple times. Have told him multiple times. Dude, it's about the fact that they really use kids. And he's fucking zoning it out because he doesn't care.
Some very gross scenes in there, and like the cameras would zoom in on their chest and their ass and their crotch. Like, that's a very different kind of repulsed.
That's what we agree on. I don't agree that those scenes are good. I don't agree with the sexualization of children. I defend the movie because I defend the morality of the movie.
You're saying this is your favorite movie. If my favorite movie had vor or smut in it, I would I would question my own beliefs. Let's go.
Movie. And I think that most people that were disgusted have seen those clips or didn't watch the whole movie like you. So that movie was taken out of context quite a bit. People don't really see the moral of the movie, which was defending Islamic values and also pointing out the very real problem.
If you made a video talking about the morality of religion X, and yet in that video you had to kill puppies, not the motherfucking FX, they are literally going in and killing puppies. That's disgusting. I don't care how good the movie is. And, hate to turn into the angry atheist, but if your God, Allah, whatever, requires to see disgusting shit by our standards. In back in the Bible days, Christianity, Judaism, 11:13. As long as they haven't known the males, you can actually capture them in battle, and after a month, you can marry them. But we're not going to get into that. We're not going to have that discussion. I'm not trying to be the angry atheist tonight. But seriously, go read the Bible. Read how they said if it's a woman who has not known a man, after you killed all the boys, their father, and the women who known a man, you can take them as your bride. After a month, after they cut their nails and cut their hair, you can take them as a bride. All right, let's just go. I'm getting upset thinking about that
problem
shit.
that young girls have going on social media and doing these dances. I agree that it's disgusting. I agree that those scenes are repulsive, but I think you could be repulsed by TikTok and pretty much what young girls are doing on social media every single day as well.
The difference is these were 11 to 13-year-old girls. What you're talking about is 16, 15, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. At some point, you're talking about children versus teens. And am I excusing the over-sexualization of the youth? No. But we're talking about people who are filming themselves and motherfucking a whole production company, a group of adults, and a motherfucking platform that is who could actually use actresses that are not children to do that motherfucking video, that show. But let's continue.
I think that people outraged at that film should also be outraged at everything that girls are doing now on Instagram, TikTok, and all these apps.
And again, this is so fucking stupid because he's not just talking about children. He's not even talking about young teen. He's talking about any woman that shows off her body. That's what he's talking about. That's what all his content is about. Bitches be making me horny by just looking good. But Sneako, they're like young and underage. What did I just say? But Sneako, they're adults and they can do what they want to. It's up to you to control how you feel. No, they look like this. They're showing elbows and knees, and that's a problem. But let's go.
Well, see, but here's the thing. So let's break it down to the very bare essentials. Can children consent?
Exactly.
Can children consent? No, they can't. We agree.
So then why do you think it's excusable to exploit them after having them sign up for this film? If you admit they can't consent, how can they possibly give the okay to be shaking their ass and have...
And look, his brain is broken right now. This motherfucking brain is broken right now. But let's go.
Having a camera all up in their shit while they're doing sexual things, like that scene where she takes a picture of her vagina, the scene where they're doing literal, like, toying around with cam sites, like, that's very different. Like, no one is disputing the message, right? It's
a I agree with the intention of the movie. I don't think that those scenes are good.
Intent in this case doesn't matter. It's about what the fuck they did. Intent doesn't matter. All right, let's go.
What we completely agree on, but I think that was an important movie to point out how many people get sucked into this world. I think that was needed. That movie was needed to be made. And I also don't think that movie encouraged pedophiles to go and cite and look at these girls. I think that they're more like...
You watched it.
To go on TikTok and find girls that they're attracted to. I don't think that this really attracted people to these girls.
Well, it's not like I'm...
And again, he's conflating women that may even be adults to a movie which had a production staff, directors, a writer, a motherfucking executive producer, and a platform to TikTok. How fucking stupid are you, Sneako?
Here arguing that this movie created pedophiles, right? But what it did is it delivered a film that they would watch for totally different reasons than the message. Again, the message isn't something that I or pretty much anyone has an issue with. The message is, like you mentioned, the social media poisoning them, making them do the sexual things, which is a problem. But this movie contributes to it since it still used real children to sexualize them to showcase it. That's the issue. You didn't need it to be children.
I don't think it contributes to it because when you see girls doing this on TikTok, they don't know.
I don't see girls doing it on TikTok, though, is the thing, right?
Wow. Fucking wow. This is a low blow. Hey, if you guys have watched my content any other time, it's this guy named D. Roy Cruz, your life applications officer. And D. Roy has said that he finds a lot of videos on YouTube where he finds gay men trying to convert straight guys. And it's always in his feed. Or the fashion show where models use like black electrical tape or black tape as bikini suits. He says it's always in his feed. You want to know what's in my feed, guys? Here, let me show you what's in my feed. My recommended. Here. You can actually see it on the side right here. Some Bleach stuff, some Naruto stuff. You get me with some Boy the Fifth Column, some Team 4-Star, different reactions that I have right here. This shit is in my feed. Spider-Man across the multiverse. This is what's in my feed. This weird shit about, oh, they're just showing up in my feed. Motherfucker, because you search for it. That's what's going on. I just did it like just this last couple of weeks. It was a reaction to an Eminem song. And I watched a few videos from this creator this responded to it. And oh wow, this shit is showing up in my feed. It's in your feed because you searched for it and you watched it. That's why it's there, Sneako. All of these social media platforms have what's called an algorithm. And it causes you to be in a social media bubble. But let's continue.
The only people that would are going to be the pedophiles. They would go and search that out. This movie was advertised on Netflix.
No, that's not true. Every time, I don't have TikTok on my phone, but once in a while before I was banned, I would go on there, and the first 3 videos would be the same thing that you see on Cuties. And that's why I uninstalled the app. That's why I refuse to have it on my phone, because it's directing you to those images.
That sounds like a you problem, Sneako. That sounds like a very you problem. I don't have those problems. I don't. That sounds like a you problem. Are you tempted when you watch those videos? Do you keep going and playing them and watching them again? That sounds like a you problem.
Which is a problem. I'm not disagreeing that's a problem. But that doesn't make this film...
We agree, but we just disagree that I think the movie was important to point out a flaw. Personally, I never empathized with girls being directed to that site before I saw that movie. That really made me understand what it's like to be a girl and grow up in that age.
Wait, what? This movie came out 2 years ago and he was fucking 20. If you can't empathize of how a woman may experience society, and this is a guy who, as he said, has been on YouTube since he was 11 and making videos where he saw street interviews and shit like that. If he can't understand empathy from even looking at people, then he's fucking stupid. But let's continue.
I think we're getting... Yes, we agree that it is disgusting, but you are excusing it because you believe it highlights a very real issue, which it does, but it contributes to that issue by using children. They didn't have to use kids. You recognize that, right? They could have used...
They didn't have to use kids. But I also look at the director and I look at the moral of the movie, and I don't think that it was anything unsafe, and I don't think that the director had any bad intentions making it. So maybe it shouldn't have been as sexualized, but I defend the morality of the movie.
You're still not getting it. It's a fact that they use kids, dog. Fuck. He's dumb.
And I also defend the effect that it had on me. When I watched that made me have a new perspective.
But do you see why that kind of... Jesus, sorry, that was my cat. Do you see why that's kind of concerning to hear, though? Because in the time that I watched that film, there were unreal amounts of sexual scenes. In fact, the majority of the movie was them doing like the dance routines where they're smacking each other's ass, zoomed in on them shaking their ass in the camera. There's that scene where a security guard's like, "What are you girls doing here?" And they're like, "We're dancers." He's like, "Prove it." So they start twerking for him, and he's like, "Oh, great, get in here." Like, that is a problem. No matter how you spin it. Again, the message is fine. There was never anything wrong with the message, and maybe the intention of the director was...
How would you tell the director to convey the message in a different way?
not use kids. That's just as simple as it is. Use older teens. That's just it. That's all you have to do. Simple. All right, let's go.
You would just not use children. You could deliver the same message and you don't use children. The problem is
I don't think it would be effective. I don't think it would be as effective. It's unfortunate that it's misinterpreted, but you couldn't be able to have that effect and show how provocative and how dangerous it is without using kids.
Yeah,
Of course, the shots probably did not need to be that bad, but when I watched that, I was absolutely disgusted. And like I said, it changed my perspective. And what I'm surprised about is that you are against wokeness, because everything that your content is about, it doesn't seem like you've.
So this is at the point where I just had to respond to motherfucking this video. This is here. You're against wokeness. Wait, what does that have to do with anything talking about the movie? I don't fucking get it. My brain hurt now. When you say you feel that children shouldn't be exploited, that's hopefully a universal point. Hopefully that's something where we can all say, yeah, no, we shouldn't have children be exploited. Do you really think that people that are on the left wants to exploit children? You dumb fuck. If you do, go fuck yourself. But I guess he wouldn't, because he's probably one of the no faps people. Let's go.
Ever directed any energy towards how dangerous wokeness can be, which is exactly what that movie's about. It's saying how important Islamic values are in the face of wokeness. It's about a Western African family, Islamic. They go to France.
Wait. How is that wokeness? My brain hurts. My brain hurts.
Completely woke country that's now being burned alive, and women are running around topless. Wokeness has consumed France.
Wait, women are running around France topless? For real? It's burning down? For real? No, you fucking idiot, because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Are there protests in France over their rights that they were promised? Yes. Should more Americans actually protest rights instead of people that they were told by 2,000-year-old dusty tomes not to like? Shit, you're so fucking ignorant. You dumb fuck. Why is France burning? Because people are standing up for their rights against a fucked up ass government. Remember, Sneako, you're the libertarian. You are anti-government. But when it's about, hey, maybe we should give rights to more people. Oh no, fuck that. Government give the fuck they want to. The fuck? Let's go.
And it's pointing out a proper solution to this problem, which is embracing Islamic values.
Who was the director of the film?
The same Islamic values with Muhammad married a 9-year-old. Those values, right? And Christians don't think you get it off any better. At least when Zeus rained showered upon motherfucking Perseus' mother, it was a golden shower. But Yahweh,
Do you know?
Her name is Maminu Dukure. Maminu Dukure, I think that's her name. She's a Western African woman, and she moved to France. So I imagine that she had a very similar experience, and she was trying to portray what it was like growing up.
So
then you didn't have to use kids. You could have used young adults.
the message of the movie is about social media, and almost exclusively. She directed the film based on seeing some children in a neighborhood doing sexual dances and wondering, how did it get to that point? This isn't okay. So the movie was supposed to be about how does a child get to that point, and it's about how social media is poisoning them, and they're constantly comparing themselves, they're seeing these things, so they're putting on makeup and they're doing sexual shit, and they never really understand why or the consequences of it. It's not a critique on wokeness, though. Of course, anything in the art field you can derive your own meaning from.
And not only that, how many conservative parents have their kids in beauty pageants? Like, we all remember John Benet Ramsey, right? We remember that shit. Like the toddlers and tiaras. This shit was happening before social media blew the fuck up. Like, seriously. Your fucking martyr, Donald Trump, has had Miss Universe Miss America, Miss Teen Universe. This shit was happening before then. We have video evidence of this shit. But let's go.
I recognize that almost everything.
Fucking Honey Boo Boo. We have evidence of this shit. So no, it's not about just social media. This shit is a fucking problem where we over-sexualize kids and fetishize youth.
You encounter in life, you tie back to either cancellation or wokeness. But in this film in particular, this is a movie I really feel conflicts hard with your ideology. Under no circumstances should children be sexualized, is where I stand. Do you disagree?
There's a lot of things in movies, like I don't agree with incest in Star Wars, but Star Wars has incest scenes. I don't agree
But that's
Wait, stop. Wait, what? Did he just really say Star Wars has incest scenes? I wasn't realizing that. Maybe you looking at the wrong Star Wars, Sneako. I know you're a big fan of looking at porn, but maybe you looking at the wrong Star Wars, because I don't remember Luke and Leia fucking. I just don't. I remember she was fucking with Han by like kissing Luke, but it was never she didn't tongue his ass. It wasn't no Oni-san. It wasn't that shit, man. Oh god.
That's what it portrayed.
It's not real incest, though. This is real children being sexualized. It's not fake. These are
I
11.
agree. But I'm defending the point of the movie.
You can defend the point of the movie, but you.
Yeah, that was before Lucas decided that they were siblings too. Like that. That's what happened. It was like a fly thing at the end of like The Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
You can still condemn the movie itself. The point can stand on its own 2 feet, right? Like, there is a problem, which you recognize, with kids being sexualized, in specific on TikTok. That is a problem in and of itself. But you can still condemn this film for contributing to the thing it's supposed to speak out against, which is sexualizing children, which you have admitted it does. And it didn't need to, like you said. That is the problem.
Maybe they shouldn't have used child actors.
Wow, it's like everybody keeps telling him that. Wow, he finally gets the shit. Okay.
But I agree with the point of the movie. But how do you think that the point could have been conveyed in a better way? Do you think should they have used 18-year-olds to play 11-year-olds?
That's exactly.
They do it all the time. And if you're too stupid to lend your motherfucking what is the fuck is it? Extend your level of incredulity, or fuck, what is that? Fuck, I forgot what the technical term. But if you can't imagine something different, other than thinking like, yeah, they like obviously young adults, but they're playing children, then you have a fucking issue, dog. Sneako, you can't have an exercise that ability. Cognitive dissonance, that's what it is. If your cognitive dissonance to say like, well, we know that they're really 18, but they're playing 13-year-olds, then you're fucked up, dude. You're fucked up. Suspension of disbelief, yeah.
What most movies have done for a long time. A quick example is The Last of Us using Bella Ramsey to portray a 14, 15-year-old. Like, you can do that, and that's a lot more acceptable because there is no longer a victim. Like you'd said, children can't consent. These kids could never fully consent to being sexualized in this film like this on the big screen.
I would argue that when they use 30-year-olds and 27-year-olds to play high schoolers, like in Euphoria and like in 13 Reasons Why, it actually sexualizes kids more because we start to mature high schoolers and we think of them in a different way.
But they look like adults. It's the Dawson Creek syndrome. They look like adults. You dumb fuck. Oh my god. This is growing up without the ability to have an imagination. And no, before you say that it has to do with social media or shit like that. No. This is literally people that don't understand sarcasm, doesn't understand satire, doesn't understand metaphors or similes. This is that. And as much as I would love to say, like, oh, it's the death of, literature or shit like that. No, people have believed that the Bible is 100% true with no motherfucking errors or no metaphors or similes in it. So it's obviously a thing that's been happening forever. It's just that social media has made it easier for people to be fucking lazy. But it is something that has been happening forever.
People in their 30s and their late 20s get addicted to euphoria, and they have ideas and they start romanticizing teenagers in a different way because...
Wait, who is getting addicted to euphoria? This sounds like a self-report. Sneako. What? Okay.
Because they don't use actors in that way and they make them look more mature.
That's a completely separate conversation you can make arguments for, but that doesn't work here because it sexualizes already real children, right? So I think you're getting hung up on like the what ifs and like whataboutisms on other sides, but the core doesn't change. So let me give you an example. It is realistic to use kids for the message, right? Because it's about kids. Well, what if the child was naked doing the vagina pic? If they showed the kid's vagina, is that now too far? It's still realistic.
That's too far. So there's two ways to move.
Did he just really say that's not too far? Did he really just say that's not too far?
It could have been changed to be more effective and that people would understand the message. One, they could have used child actors and they should not have been sexualized in that way. Or two, they could have been 18 plus and it could have been sexualized, but then it wouldn't have been as effective. One of the two should have changed. I agree.
Okay. So then do you think there's like levels to sexualization of kids that is acceptable and then unacceptable?
The smart move is to say no. There's no levels. There's none that is acceptable. But Sneako is too stupid to do that. I bet you he's too stupid to do that. Oh my God, he's too stupid to do that.
No, this is never acceptable to sexualize children, but...
Oh my God, I was about to eat my words. No, it's never acceptable to sexualize children. Full stop. Period. End of sentence. No buts, no howevers, no nothing. Stop. Just stop. Stop dying on this motherfucking hill, dude. You are dying on the hill that you don't need to die on. It just makes you look like a fucking pedo.
Then we agree. So then can we then say, since this...
Oh my God, thank you, Charlie. Stop him. Oh fuck. He stopped him. Thank you. Fucking thank you.
Film sexualized children, I can't really champion the film. However, the message is okay. Like, I like the message.
I agree completely. But the reason I defend that movie is because I think everybody just saw those scenes and looked past the message and looked past the good moral that the director had when making it.
That could very well be...
Did he not just say that they shouldn't... Oh my God, he's so fucking stupid. You can admit something is bad, even if you like it, motherfucker, but you're too fucking caught with your head up your ass to realize that he is just giving you a way better out, but you still have to argue the point when you're fucking wrong.
Be the case for some people, right? 100%.
I would say most people who hate the movie haven't seen it. Most of the people accusing me of being a pedophile for defending the movie haven't seen it, have no idea what it's about. They've just seen those scenes.
But they're also still not wrong for being upset about those scenes. Like, can you recognize that?
I think they should be more upset at the problem. I think people should direct that anger instead of calling me a pedophile on the internet. They should.
This is what it's about. People called him a pedo. That's all it's about. That's what this is about. The reason why he's sticking up for this fucking movie is because people hurt his feelings. And he has to, when you're wrong, you just have to prove you have to just prove wrong harder. Okay, fuck.
Look at the system that turns these girls into sexual objects at a young age and be more angry at that. That is the real issue. That's the bigger problem at large.
They do, though. It's not mutually exclusive, like where it's one or the other.
Do they? Do you?
Do I?
This is what this conversation's about. It's about attacking Charlie, like moist, critical. Like, this is what it's about. And if I was Charlie, when I saw it come out this way, I would just like, okay, we can do that. We can stop being charitable to the way you act and what you say. We can stop doing that. You don't want me to stop doing that.
What? talk about the problem.
Do you direct that anger? I see you.
Now, from here, we started branching off into other conversational topics, but I do want to go ahead and give a little wrap up here. After talking to him about it, it really feels like he sticks to his guns just out of pure stubbornness because he's defended it for so long. He's unwilling to forfeit on the point, even though he can clearly recognize that the sexualization of children is a bad thing. And since the movie sexualizes children, it is full stop a bad thing. He can't separate the message and applaud the message without applauding the whole film.
What did I say? What do I say? Exactly my point. Exactly. Wow. Like, that is it. But let's go.
Which is a problem. He repeatedly calls it his favorite movie and how important it is, but he's only referring to the intentions with the message, and the message is fine, but the film itself is not fine. It wanted to speak out against social media, poisoning these children and having them do sexual things, and it's horrible. The film wanted to call that out and point a light at how horrible it is, but doing so, they used real 11 to 13-year-olds and actually sexualized them. Thus, it's a fucking horrible thing that they produced, and by my definition, and many people's definition, is child porn. That shouldn't be defended by any means. Now, I wish Sneako would be able to just separate the message from the film, because the message is fine. That is something that you can applaud, but not the film itself.
Follow the narrative that's popular on social media, but I don't see you ever directed at the problem. Do you agree that wokeness is one of the biggest problems that corrupts kids nowadays?
Sneako, define wokeness. Define wokeness. Define wokeness. What does it mean? Go ahead. I have time.
Define wokeness.
Wokeness is the liberal ideology, is feelings over facts. I identify this way because I feel like it is. There's no gender, nothing.
How many people?
Medicine.
1,000 people that believe the earth is flat. Does that convince you at all?
Okay, but the question was how many people?
What if I showed you 10,000?
The point I'm trying to make is that your worldview is formed by people that have more power than you.
No.
And our worldview is by people that we speak to. That's a very different way to research and to form opinions about what goes on in the world. That's extreme. Okay.
How many people would it take to convince you that the earth is flat? That's the point, right? It's not about how many people it is. It's about who has the tools and who has the third-party verification.
It's also popular opinion, too.
No, it's not popular opinion at all.
You know why?
I just feel like I had to put that right there for some reason. I mean, like, I feel it's right because a lot of people say it. I don't know. Let's go.
Nothing matters. I do as I want. Everything that's promoted on social media.
Do you realize half of what you just described is how you've lived your life for the last year? Like feelings over facts, for example. You champion bullying. You think bullying needs to come back. I have never canceled you. Can you recognize that? I've actually always spoke out against deplatforming, if you've ever noticed. I spoke out against it.
No, but you were also disingenuous. When I called out the soy boy collage, you were like, these people just hurt my feelings. Most of
God damn, he's stupid! Damn it! Fuck, he's stupid! Oh my God, he's fucking stupid! Well, it's about facts over feelings. Except for the people that who literally said that I shouldn't be platformed. They just made my feelings. They just hurt my feelings. Fuck, he's stupid. Let's go.
those people actively advocated
One
for my
person.
cancellation.
Nick is not green is the
That's
only
not
person.
True. That's not true. Ethan Klein celebrated and clapped when I was banned and said, good. Finally.
Celebrating is one thing. Advocating for it is another thing. Again, you are being insulted, not canceled.
This misogynist is banned. What happens on the internet, I understand. It's good to have back and forth. Bullying is good because it makes you have to develop your character in a different way. That's not why I was upset. I was upset because a lot of these people were secretly happy or secretly hoping that I was going to get banned because they did.
Okay. I can want a fucker to be banned, but that doesn't mean I get to advocate it for it. And it goes back to what fucking Charlie was just saying. Sneako can't motherfucking parse certain things. It has to be one way or the other. And that's fucking stupid. If you don't have the ability to say like, hey, I may not like this is bad, but I don't want to cancel you. I don't want you to like stop doing it. As long as you're not doing the people that hurt you, or you're not doing to hurt people, then cool. I don't like drinking. I don't like getting high. It's not my thing. But if you're doing it in a way where you're not hurting anybody, who am I to stop you? Do I think that you should stop doing it and motherfucking maybe get some help for the shit that you're obviously going through? Yes. But I'm not gonna be like, yo. You taking a chemical? Fuck you. You need to go to jail.
Disagree with my ideology.
But then why am I on that list when I've only ever spoke out against deplatforming? That seems like I'm there because I hurt your feelings.
You didn't hurt my feelings. I thought it was funny because you do look like the rest of them.
But you flip the fuck out okay. Watch my clips. Watch my clips. Okay.
I don't understand how, but we're not here to get into the nitty gritty, I guess. Now, after talking to Sneako, it became clear that he really lives his life fearful of wokeness. He is constantly haunted by the woke boogeyman, like he's trapped in Luigi's mansion, but every ghost is woke. It's one of those things where every topic we started talking about always tied back to either cancellation or wokeness, which I think is pretty sad to be in that state of, I guess, unease, where he's always feeling as though woke is breathing down his neck. It's haunting his dreams like Freddy Krueger. But I'm going to get into that.
So here's the thing about that, because he thinks that if you're woke, you're not a real man. If you're woke, you're weak. If you're woke, you're this. My man, if you have to tell people that you're manly, you're masculine, you're straight, then you're not that. And Charlie is hitting it right on the head. He thinks wokeness is something that is going to get him. It's like, Sneako, are you okay? Sneako, are you okay? Are you okay, Sneako? Sneako, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Sneako? You've been you've been hit by a smooth wokeness.
Just a little bit more in a second. I do want to mention that collage where he's claiming it's not people that hurt his feelings, it's people that, like, advocated for his cancellation and shit, which, again, I never did. I have only ever made fun of him and insulted him. Or made fun of one of his friends that he felt the need to pick up the the White Knight's armor to defend the honor of. So I, under no circumstances, fit any of his definitions there, except for he thinks I look like the rest of the people there, which I have still not to this day seen a single living, breathing human being that has said there is similarity between anyone on that collage. Fucking 30 people on that collage, and there's no similarity amongst any of them. All types of different backgrounds, faces, hair, everything. Beliefs, it's not even fucking close. I don't know what he's seeing there. Maybe he's like face blind, so he sees everyone as like a default RuneScape character on Tutorial Island. I don't know. But anyway, back to the woke topic. I wanted him to define woke, and he gave me his definition of woke. To his credit, that was more than I would have expected, because last time I saw someone try to define woke, it was a fucking disaster. But he clearly does have it.
He saw the Hill clip too. Okay, yeah, he saw the Hill clip.
At least some belief on what wokeness is and what it means to him. Now, he asked me if I think that's the biggest problem facing the youth today. And I didn't really get to get a clear answer in there because he kept switching kind of rapidly. My answer is no. But I do think the biggest problem that's plaguing the youth today is the fact that kids feel forced to choose sides so early in life, before their brain has even had a chance to develop. Now, whether you want to subscribe to one side of the political spectrum or the other, you are always being forced down one path in this level of tribalism where you always have to blindly support that side and hate everything and everyone on the other. I think that shit sucks fuck. I think that...
Okay, so I will agree that that is a problem. I also agree, and I've actually said it, where people think that you should only be on the left because you're bullied and you don't have power. Like, no. I understand where he's coming from. I can't 100 fully kind of like, I understand his point. Like, his point is in the suburbs and I'm sitting on the city line. Like, I understand his point. I don't think that's everything. Kind of, I understand the political extremism is a problem in the U.S. I fucking get it, and I think that is a big problem. And I think how it's decided is a problem. That's what I wanted to say. I think that is one of our biggest problems. How people are forced to choose a side. Not that they choose a side, that they build their beliefs or structures around their axioms. But I think how they're herded off or separated into in each one of those groups, I think that's a big problem.
That's a horrible way of living life, and it leads to a situation that we see a lot now where people aren't friends with someone that don't share every single thing in common. For example, I have friends that I disagree with on many things, but we're still friends at the end of the day because we do have commonality in like personality and we have fun together. We don't need to agree on everything, and I wouldn't want that. I don't like echo chambers. And regardless of if you're on the woke side or the anti-woke side, you put yourself in an echo chamber no matter what. And both sides eat you alive if you so much as critique something about that side.
So I get this in like, oh my God. So I have friends, as much as I'm more of an anti-theist and atheist, I have friends that are devout Christians. And I even have people who I like to argue. I do these videos where I listen to people's side and just bring up my point. I like to argue. That's just a thing. And I have people that understand that about me. I have people that like can have conversations and it's not been an issue. And then I have people that it's like, no, if you don't believe exactly how I feel or you think that I'm wrong, I'm gonna actually punish you by taking myself out of your life. And if you're gonna be that unreasonable, bye. There is value in having friends that disagree with you to a point, not abusive, but disagree with you to a point. It is value with that. And again, it's one of those things that you have to actually take the time and start building up, your mental strength to have friends like that. But let's continue.
It seems like it's constantly discouraged to think for yourself. You have to be fed your thoughts, whether that's being fed the thoughts that Sneako hates or being fed the thoughts that Sneako champions. It's always being fed your own their ideas, and then you try and adopt them as your own, and any kind of deviation from that is frowned upon in the communities. And in fact, if you decide you don't want to go down either of those paths and you try and like take information from both sides and form your own perspective, you get insulted for being a centrist. What is the meme? Enlightened centrist? There is no winning. The only winning move is not to play. That is what I feel the biggest problem is for the youth, is forcing them to make these decisions where they have to play for one team or the other for their whole fucking life, and then regardless of which side you choose to go to, you still get eaten alive by members of the same community if you're somewhat out of line or thinking too hard for yourself. That's what I think the biggest problem is with growing up with social media and Twitter constantly plaguing people's minds, which in turn leads to everyone being miserable and mad at everything and everyone. And I also think it lends itself to making everyone more isolated and lonely, because then they lock themselves online, constantly fighting battles for their ideology on Twitter with fucking random bot accounts and actual nonsense
So this is the point where we disagree. I think that it's not our system that we have, and yes, the capitalist system that we have, actually feeds into that because the algorithms are you're encouraged to feel this way because of algorithm. And so it, like I said, I've told people this, it's not one big panacea for just like, oh, we just get rid of social media and then the tribalism goes away. That's not a thing. It's always going to be there. Oh, we just get rid of social media and there are people who won't find other people sexualized. No, that's not a thing. So I do think that there are interesting and more esoteric problems that happen. Should we actually try to work in them all? Yes, of course. But, it's just one of those things where it's, again, this is his perspective, and you're listening to this video because you want to hear mine. And ironically enough, that's exactly what he's talking about. But let's go.
Hour of every day. So that would be my answer to what is actually plaguing the youth.
Similar. Overall, and you can see it with the Fresh and Fit video that you still haven't corrected, where you called Fresh a virgin. A lot of it, and you see people that hate me, they're like, oh, this alpha male, this...
Wait. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Oh my God. He doesn't get satire. Oh my God. He is clearly being satiristic. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then Sneako keeps saying the same fucking thing. Like, oh, he knows he's an average looking guy and he still gets a lot of women. Nobody talks about how he looks. It is the way that motherfucker actually acts. You don't fucking get it. You may have had intercourse with a woman, but you're still a fucking virgin. You dumb fuck.
This alpha male Sneako, and I've never once called myself that. I don't think I'm an alpha male. I advocate towards things that are conservative. I advocate towards Islamic values. That doesn't mean that I think I am an alpha male.
I've never called you an alpha male. You're talking to someone.
You've called my friends that. You've called Fresh and Fit that, and you haven't.
They call them. You are really hung up on fighting for the honor of Fresh and Fit. What I did.
It's like put down your shield, unite.
Was exactly what you preach. I made fun of him. Calling him a virgin is a joke. Do I think he's actually a virgin? Probably not. And it's not even a good joke. Like, that's the laziest joke of all time. Which is why it wasn't like the crux of it. I just made it as a throwaway statement in the middle of a rant about his ridiculous story. This is something that clearly weighs heavy on the mind of Sneako, where I insulted his friend, and my god, he has not let that go. This has become like his Vietnam, because it really seems to have taken a big toll on his psyche.
Sneako, if you watch this video, if you watch the response, what he's saying is, it's like his Vietnam. That's a metaphor, saying that it was a war that's unwinnable, but you're still staying in it. That's what it is. He doesn't mean that you're defending the guys from Fresh and Fit like literal Vietnam. It's a metaphor, dog. It's a metaphor.
He believes I owe a retraction and apology for making fun of him and calling out his story. And he says that I was wrong about all of it, even though, I'll play the clip in a moment, further into our conversation, he also admits he doesn't know if he actually fucked the 3 women that he claimed he did. Nobody knows. The story itself is outrageous. What they proved is he had DMs, like a conversation with the NBA player, but that doesn't corroborate the whole story. There is no apology or retraction necessary. It is still such a fucking crazy story he told that probably wouldn't even happen in the most obscure Brazzers porno ever.
Because you don't correct your mistakes. You were wrong about Fresh and Fit. You were wrong about Andrew Tate. And you were wrong about the movie Cuties.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you tied it back to Cuties, but before we get back to that, how am I feel like I'm one of the very few people on the internet who corrects himself. Whenever I make a mistake, I do go and make a clarification. For example, I got something wrong with a content creator holding a stand-up competition that was absolute dog shit, and then someone came there and made fun of him, and I didn't know the full context. Once I got the full context, I went back and made a follow-up video to explain it in more depth with more clarity. I always do that. With Fresh and Fit, you really hung up on this idea that he fucked 3 women that night after meeting an NBA player at a bar, and they exchanged Instagram information, and it turns out they were Eskimo bros with the same girl's pussy. Like, it's an outrageous story. Now, whether or not it's true, you haven't proved it either. Were you there watching him fuck? Were you cheering him on?
He verified it. He showed the DMs with the basketball player. They did the whole podcast verifying the story.
The DMs.
You didn't correct it. Okay, so you didn't correct that. They did verify the story. You didn't correct it.
Did they have the basketball player? Did they have the basketball player and the 3 girls he fucked come on and be like, "Oh my god, he absolutely plowed the shit out of me. It was the best sex of my life"? Did he have?
That would never happen. But he did show the DMs with the basketball player verifying the story and that he did go to the party.
So wait a minute. He verified the story that he went to the party. That's it. All right.
Whether or not you want to believe he was with 3 women, I wasn't there either. I guess we're never going to know. But he did get the DMs from the basketball player.
To add on to this, if there's even small elements of that story that are somewhat true, I guarantee the whole thing is still embellished, because the story he told is a work of fucking Tumblr fan fiction. It is not exactly how it played out under no universe, especially not for him. He is an extremely sensitive guy. He would probably have started crying after the first round of sex instead of going right to the next girl. Like, it is just not something that happened, and even if there is some elements of truth to the story, the whole thing is probably still not 100% accurate, and
again, Charlie is talking about fucking his personality. Let's go.
And still, the whole core of the video is the same. I was making fun of the guy. that would still stay entirely intact. Now, I'm getting carried away with Fresh and Fit here. The conversational topic here was about not correcting things that I've got wrong. And I've actually prided myself on being willing to accept when I'm wrong. I think that's one of the most important qualities a person can have in something that is very unfortunately absent from most people in the current day and age, where everyone has this complete reluctance and this like, ooh, yuckiness, I can't be wrong, I have to be perfect all the time attitude. I am more than willing to embrace and accept when I get things wrong, which is why I've made so many videos saying, I was wrong about this, got this wrong, this one was off, and adding more clarity to situations that I've covered when more information came out, or if something turned out to be fraudulent.
Or you can just do the video way after everything came out, and then you can be wrong after, you can be right after all of the information has come out. I don't know, like somebody who may make videos way later than he should. Okay, let's go.
I have done that for years, and I always have. In the case of Fresh and Fit, there is nothing to fucking correct. Now, I'm going a little out of order of our conversation because we kept bouncing back and forth between certain things, fucking pinballing around, but I'm trying to connect all the points together. So we're going to talk about the Andrew Tate thing in a moment. That's something we talked about for a little bit because Tate is very clearly someone that is a heavy influence in Sneako's life. But before then, I do want to focus on a couple other things we talked about, and that's him victimizing himself constantly. This is something I've called out, and I wanted to hear his perspective on it. A lot of the things you critique the woke for are ones that you actively partake in. Victimization, that's a big thing with the woke, right? Constantly playing the victim. Do you recognize how often you play the victim in terms of like, I'm being canceled, everyone's against me, you go on your Discord to talk more about it? Even
no, he doesn't, because he's a Republican. He's a Republican. All right, let's go.
Even this morning, talking and naming and shaming people that you think have slighted you as like a cancellation, you do the exact same things. Like, you are also an SJW.
That's not victimizing. That's actively pointing out that literally every single streamer, the entire internet, all of YouTube reacted to your video. I drop a response where I even apologize for.
wait, yeah, I remember this. Why is nobody talking about my video? Why is nobody responding to my video? What? You just don't like me. You want to, like, yeah, he motherfucker. Oh, here, let me see if I can actually find it. Hold on. Let's see. Sneako. Tweet. Here. Let's see. Let's see. I do not want to. I'm not going to search for that. No, what he's talking about is Sneako actually made a video where the one that I was talking about that was doing the ridiculous COVID and election denial. And he's like, after the video had been out for like 20 minutes, and he put the tweet like, why is nobody responding to my video? Why is nobody responding to my video? You responded to everybody else's. You responded to Moist Critical videos, but nobody's responding to my video. Okay, sure, let's go.
For going out of character and getting emotional, and then people, it's a million views in 12 hours. Nobody.
I'm gonna need you to stop stealing your neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Watching my rebuttal. Some of them react and making me die in an animation, but nobody wants to see what I have to say. I've become a caricature on YouTube rather than somebody who has something to say.
So really, you're upset. And it wasn't me, it was this video. You're upset that you became a caricature. And nobody wants to listen to what you have to say. You're the caricature because we did listen and we think you're fucking stupid. You're not respected, Sneako, by most of the people on YouTube. You're not. You're seen as a fucking clown. Get the makeup out and put the wig the fuck on. You're a clown.
Become a meme because I am banned. That's not victimizing. That's actively pointing out how strong censorship is and how people on mainstream platforms can run with the narrative when you're not there.
The way you just justified
But he's on Rumbler. He's on these motherfucking side channels. He's not canceled. Again, he's just mad that he's going to get the biggest audience that he wants.
is a way many other people that you call playing the victim would also be able to justify things. The point is, when you are constantly whining and talking about how you're being attacked, it is still being victimized. I tried to point a mirror at him to point out that a lot of the things he criticizes others for is things that he actively does himself, and the one I focused on was victimization. Because the way he justifies, playing the victim is justification people have used in the past that he calls out. So I was just trying to illustrate that it's not only hypocritical, but also just kind of silly that he, and with all of his beliefs, still plays the victim and whines so much on Twitter. Mm-hmm. But that point wasn't really landing. We just kept kind of going in a circle about that one, so I don't want to focus on it too much here.
It's disingenuous, and now we're having the debate, but you would rather DM and go and make this about drama. Oh, let me go and react and do more drama content rather than have a conversation.
But I never did that.
You're doing it now.
But you have to remember that I didn't start any of this. You reacted to me telling jokes about your friend, and then had your audience tell me, and that went on for like 2 weeks, and so eventually I explained why I don't like you. And then when I did that, that was the only time I planned on talking about you. You went on stream with your gun to threaten me, and you kept it up for 3 months, adding me.
I didn't do that to threaten you. That was a joke about clips. You actually think I was threatening you?
Whether or not you were
victimized, you're gonna think. Okay, you're gonna say victimized. You're
gonna. Wait. And this is like the trick that a lot of cons pull, a lot of conservatives pull. Well, I didn't say it outright, so it wasn't really real. I didn't threaten you really, but yeah, I showed guns and I flagged the fucking camera. The fuck? Okay.
To say I'm actively trying to threaten you by saying a clips joke on a stream.
I don't think you were actually coming after my life. It doesn't change the fact that for 3 months you continued to carry it on. I wasn't reacting to you. I wasn't even talking about you. This was a quick point that I think he did see my side on. He likes to make the claim that I was farming him for views and AdSense money, which couldn't be further from the truth. I never wanted to talk about Sneako. I never had plans of doing it. He kept poking and prodding me until I did. And then, once I did, he wasn't happy that I was so mean in my response that for 3 months he did carry on this very one-sided beef until, once again, I decided to spit and play in the pig pen, and I made a tweet firing back at him after months of not even mentioning him, and then made a follow-up video. But it was never part of my agenda to do that. And I think after explaining it to him, he did see that he was really the instigator. And I am glad that he did have that, realization after our conversation, that he was willing to accept that. I think that is healthy, that he was open to seeing that, okay, maybe I was wrong and his intention wasn't drama AdSense farming.
What do you think that I've said that I don't believe in?
So we'll use our beef, for example. You think I'm weak for not taking you up on a boxing fight. But on the same side of that coin, you won't take Brandon Buckingham up on that boxing fight. The whole point was I don't stand by my beliefs because I won't fight you for it. Well, with that perspective, why wouldn't you fight Brandon Buckingham when you feel so strongly about your beliefs and he says the same things I do? Wouldn't you want to prove that you stand...
Because the first fight that I want to take...
In other words, I think I can beat you. I don't think I can beat him. That's all. That's all it really is. And Sneako has admitted to such as much. But let's go.
The first fight that I want to take would be against somebody, one, who has more clout than me. Two, I disagree with ideologically. I don't disagree with him ideologically at all.
But he says the same things I say about you.
This person has been obsessed for a long time. He's suing me for emotional distress. Personally, I don't care about this person, and there's no benefit for me to take my first fight with this person.
So then
if
your
I fought
beliefs...
somebody, I challenge.
So then
the reason I was banned on Twitter for challenging Hasanabi to a fight, one, because a lot of people want to see that. He's well known. He disagrees with me completely. There's a lot of tension for that fight.
So it's for motherfucking clout. It's for motherfucking clout. All right, let's go.
If I fought you, you have said a lot of things that are very negative about me. There's beef in the air, and you talk a lot about me, so things that you probably wouldn't say to my face. It would be an entertaining fight.
But that's not the point. The whole point is you think I am weak, and you keep harping on this for not taking you up on the fight. But you won't take someone up on a fight that's saying the exact same things I am. So it seems like the beliefs, you don't stand by that strongly if you're not confident you can make a spectacle.
Charlie, we both know you wouldn't accept a fight.
Right, I've made that very clear.
We both know. Even
so, you only talk shit to people who you think that you can beat, or somebody who's saying I'm not gonna fight you. You know what? I'm done, guys. I'm done.
Done.
Oh shoot. Oh wow. I just can't. I can't anymore. I can't. I worry about Sneako and like. Sorry about that. I thought the mic was up, but like I can't. I can't anymore. I can't. This is just. This hurts my brain, and probably because I'm tired too. This hurts my motherfucking brain. I just I can't. This hurts my brain. We watched half of this video, and I'm gonna probably do the rest of it tomorrow. I need to fucking rest and probably, I don't know, play video games. But this hurts my brain. We'll watch the rest of it tomorrow. Thank you for watching this much. Like, share, subscribe, and all the other good shit. And we're gonna cut this video segment here.
If I gave myself the power, where would I be? Was I